Sometimes, when life gets quiet and we are left alone with our thoughts, a difficult question comes up. Why do some people not have friends? At first, it may look like just a social problem, as if the person is unlucky or doesn't know how to connect. But if we look deeper, it often means something much more personal, even spiritual. Being without friends is not always a failure. It can be a sign of what is happening inside someone's heart and mind. Carl Jung, a famous psychologist, said that our outer life reflects our inner world. If someone has no friends, it may be because of hidden struggles, old wounds, or simply a different way of experiencing life. Some people stay away from others because they have been hurt before and want to protect themselves. Others find the world too noisy or shallow and would rather stay alone than force fake connections. And some are searching for something more real, a life that feels true to who they are. In these cases, loneliness is not just emptiness. It can actually be a message from the soul. It shows us our pain, our fears, but also our hidden strengths. Often, the roots of loneliness start in childhood. If a child grows up feeling unseen or unimportant, they may later believe their emotions don't matter. As adults, they build invisible walls to protect themselves. Rejection, bullying, or abandonment can also cause people to isolate, afraid of being hurt again. So, what looks like not wanting friends can actually be an unconscious way of staying safe. Jung once said, "Loneliness does not come from being alone, but from not being able to share what matters most." That means someone may have people around but still feel deeply alone if they cannot share their true self. In fact, many people without friends often have very deep inner worlds. They don't enjoy small talk or shallow company. They long for genuine, honest, meaningful connections. Throughout history, we see the figure of the hermit, the person who leaves society to search for truth within. This image appears in myths, religions, and even tarot cards. Loneliness, in this sense, is not an accident but part of a journey. When life removes distractions, we are forced to meet our shadow, the parts of ourselves we usually hide, like anger, sadness, fear, or desires we never admitted. At first, this feels painful, but facing these hidden parts is the first step to becoming whole. Just like heroes in myths who must go through the desert, the cave, or the dark night before finding light, people today may go through loneliness as a kind of initiation, a necessary stage of transformation. In my experience, people who felt crushed by loneliness often discovered their deepest strengths during that time. Anger revealed a need for fairness. Sadness showed the need for self-love. Envy pointed to talents they had not used. Fear showed where growth was waiting. Loneliness strips away masks and excuses. It forces a person to listen to themselves. Pain becomes the teacher. And when they integrate their shadow, when they make peace with all sides of themselves, they come out stronger, more authentic, and ready for real connections. This process is like the myth of the phoenix, the bird that burns and then rises from the ashes, renewed. After going through loneliness, a person no longer looks for relationships out of fear or emptiness. Instead, they create bonds from a place of fullness and freedom. That's why, after a lonely phase, people often attract better friendships or love. They no longer want crowds or fake company. They want real, soul-nourishing relationships. When we view loneliness not as failure but as a message, everything changes. It becomes a silent teacher. It teaches us to find strength in ourselves, to face our shadow and grow from it, to value truth over appearances, to discover our connection with something greater, whether we call it God, the self, or simply the deep soul within us. Prophets, sages, and spiritual teachers all went through times of isolation. Why? Because silence and solitude open doors that noise and crowds never can. So, having no friends is not a curse. It can be a gift, a chance to find your real self, build a solid inner foundation, learn to live without masks, prepare for deeper, more authentic relationships in the future. Loneliness shows us that freedom is not about having many people around, but about having the courage to simply be yourself. And once you have befriended yourself, you are never truly alone.